Other than yelling, done like twice. Carter was a very well-written character initially in terms of her credentials. But I felt that they wrote a very man writing a woman character is in evidence by certain lines in the pilot. Pretty sure I don't need to remind you what those are, but having to do with reproductive organs. And so it was after the pilot when I knew that my job was secure that I was able to go up and say, you know what, women don't actually talk like this. Never have I used the gender argument in that way, if I've ever even used it. But also, you know, and I said, just write as if you're writing for a man, and I'll bring a certain inherent femininity to it, simply by virtue of my gender, but also hopefully because I'm somewhat feminine, with a gun and army boots. The other thing that happened in before we even shot the pilot, and I've told this story before, but there was one executive from the studio who wanted Carter to wear a very low-cut tank top and a push-up bra. And so I went. I just arrived in Vancouver. We'd had our cast read-through. It was super exciting. I went for my wardrobe fitting. And I had been told I'd be wearing black t-shirts and army fatigues and boots. And I was like, awesome. And then there was this tank top and push-up bra. And I looked at the costume designer and I said, what, the what? And she said, yeah, well, we just, you know, so we can take some pictures for the executives. They just want to see if this is the way they want to go with the character. And I was like, you can't. You can't go this way with it. This is a smart, strong, very capable woman. If you make it about her boobs, you've completely lost. Like, she's military. You can't, come on. And but it was my first real big gig, and I didn't want to blow it. But I kind of had to. That was really where Amanda Tapping first like stood her ground, and I refused to put it on. I don't like confrontation, so of course I burst into tears. But I said, if they want me to put this on, they have to come downstairs and tell me why. And we can have the argument about who this character really is. And if they're insistent that this is what they want her to be, then they've cast the wrong person. Because I refuse to sexualize her to the point of marginalizing her. Anyway, lots of tears, and it turned out it was one person who wasn't even associated directly with production, and Brad Wright and Jonathan Glasner and those guys were awesome. And I guess Christina went and phoned and just said she's not going to do it. And she came back and said, don't worry about it, it's all good, just put on the t-shirt. And I was like, whew. And, you know, unless it was sort of a story point, there was very few times that Carter was really kind of sexy, unless it was specific to a story point. But otherwise, the day-to-day Carter that you know and hopefully enjoy is dressed that way, the way like the guys are dressed. So that was one of the major influences, I feel. And I don't know whether it would have continued, whether they had me try on this tank top and would have gone, no, this is stupid. But anyway, and I just feel like my coming into my own as a woman happened sort of at the same time as Carter's in terms of the evolution. We had really amazing writers on that show, and they really listened to the actors' voices, and they had a very clear idea of what they wanted the characters to be. So I credit them more than I credit myself in terms of how Sam turned out. But it became a very symbiotic relationship between Sam and I. With Helen, I had more of an influence because we were developing her right from the start. But again, I credit the writing, which was Damien Kindler, who wrote this phenomenal female character. And then really it was just a matter of bringing my own physicality to her. And there was a lot of discussions about how we were going to play her and what we wanted her to be like. And so, and again, I feel like I was ready to play Helen Magnus. I wouldn't have been ready 15 years ago to play Helen Magnus, but I was ready now to play her. So, hope that answers your question.